What's up, you guys? Today I'm going to be talking about my favorite sources when it comes to learning about witchcraft. So if you are a beginner witch and you are looking to do some reading and some listening and overall get some learning about witchcraft's history, practice, and culture, then keep on watching. I'm going to talk about 3 different categories. I'm going to go over books that I love, podcasts that I really like, and then I'm going to talk about online resources that I really like. Honestly, those are kind of ranked in order of what I find most important to least important. I find books to be kind of the best source, at least for me, because I'm a big reader. Podcasts I also really love, honestly, because they're really easy on the go. I listen to them in my car. I listen to them when I'm going for a walk or something. I think that they're really cool. And I find that online resources tend to just be kind of sketchy. So I only have 2. But like I said, we're going to start with books. My favorite of all time must read is the Encyclopedia of Witchcraft by Judika Isles. I might be pronouncing her last name wrong, I'm not really sure. But it's basically a really great overview of everything. More specifically, it goes over history, important texts, botanicals, it goes over Sabbats, it goes over gods and goddesses. It goes over so much. And therefore it's really long. So it's a little bit of a, big read. I think it's like close to 900 pages, but don't let that intimidate you, because you don't have to really read everything word for word, because some sections, like the section on animals and the section on botanicals, are more for reference, just like an encyclopedia, versus the chapters that are more about like history or specific things, or things that you'll probably want to read more closely and, read all of. But it's a combination of a good like coffee table type of reading book. What I mean by that is just like a book that you really read word for word, and a good reference book. So it's a really good balance of the 2, and I think that it's a total must-have. Another one that I really love, it's on my shelf right here. There she is. It's Green Witchcraft by Paige Vanderbeck. It's a really cute new age style book. I think it just came out this year in 2020 actually. And I like it for the fact that it provides kind of more lighthearted context on witchcraft, and it has like really cute images and stuff. It's really easy to digest and just super approachable. But it also has really great applicable skills, like how to make a poultice and the difference between a poultice and a salve. And I find that it actually has a good combination of being really approachable and actually being informational. So next book that I really love is called The Only Astrology Book That You'll Ever Need, and it is by Joanna Martine Wolfo. It is a really good intro into astrology. It explains the houses, each zodiac signs, the planets, and how they interact with each other in the world and everything. And it helps you create and analyze birth charts. I do not agree with the title that it's the only astrology book you'll ever need, but I do think you're gonna walk away from it with a much better understanding of how astrology works, and maybe even with a better understanding of yourself and your relationships. And the last book that I'm going to recommend today is Fairies by Sky Alexander. I've seen a lot of people on like Witch Talk and stuff talking about the Fae recently. I feel like there's kind of a surge in interest around fairies. I really like this book because there are a lot of different opinions on the Fae. Due to the fact that fairies have existed in pretty much every culture. And I find that this book is really helpful because it's over all different viewpoints of the Fae from different cultures. So you can form your own educated opinion based on the different histories. Next category is podcasts. I really like podcasts. And the first one I want to talk about is Modern Magic by Maren Altman. You may have seen her because she has a pretty substantial online presence. Maren actually also has a YouTube channel, which she pretty much posts the same content on her YouTube channel than she does on her podcast. So I'm gonna link both. I personally usually actually watch the YouTube videos because I'm just a super visual learner. It has like nothing to do with the fact that Maren is like ridiculously beautiful or anything. What are you talking about? But in all seriousness, she's actually really knowledgeable, very well educated, and she keeps you up to date in a way that books can't, because she's posting pretty much weekly updates on the stars and planets. That being said, she's kind of one of those people who is so smart that she expects everyone to be able to keep up with her and how fast her brain works and like all of the terminology that she uses. So I would say her videos and her podcast aren't really for total beginners to astrology. I would say read the Woolfolk book. Read the Woolfolk book before jumping in to Maren's podcast, because you're gonna need an understanding of astrology to keep up. The next one is Seeking Witchcraft by a woman named Ashley. I have no idea what her last name is. It's not, I haven't been able to find it anywhere. But this is a really great one for Wiccans in particular. I'm not Wiccan, but Ashley is, and she's actually even in a coven, which I feel like covens can be quite a secretive topic and kind of a thing that isn't super discussed, but she goes into how to find a coven, what covens are like, and you know, she has a lot of knowledge on that path in particular. But don't get it twisted, I would not by any means say that her podcast is only for Wiccans or only for coven witches. I totally think that she has appropriate content for every single witch. Like 85% of the time, it's really widely applicable stuff. It's a really good beginner podcast. It really just goes over like how to put witchcraft into practice. So I would totally give it a listen. She's really friendly and approachable and reliable. This next one is kind of just an honorable mention because it is by the same woman who wrote the Green Witchcraft book, Paige Vanderbeck. She also has a podcast called the Fad Feminist Witch Podcast. I have mixed feelings about this podcast. I do love some episodes a lot. Particularly, she has one episode that's about like emotional witchcraft, and I think a different one that's about anger and witchcraft, or maybe they're the same episode and I don't remember. But I do think that episodes like that and some other episodes that she has are really, really insightful and thoughtful and really help you connect with your emotions and witchcraft. And she's obviously like a really independent thinker and has a lot of her own ideas in a way that is really inspiring of you forming your own opinion. But that being said, she is a really secular witch to the point where some things that she says might be offensive to non-secular witches. I don't think that she is by any means like ill-meaning, but like, does it make me kind of uncomfy when you call Aphrodite a bitch? Yes. But I still think that her podcast is really worth listening to, especially for new age and secular witches. For online resources, like I said, I only really like two. The first one you've probably heard of, it's Biddy Tarot. I love Biddy Tarot. Biddy Tarot is amazing. They go so in depth with each tarot card and all the possible meanings. Obviously, tarot reading shouldn't just be memorization. It should be your own intuition mixed in with knowing the meanings and the symbolism of the cards. But having the background of the meanings and the symbolism is really important to being able to trust your intuition and being able to just make things make sense, because it's a blend. They have free guides. It's really in-depth. They can connect you with tarot readers. I just think that it's a really awesome resource for tarot, unmatched. And the other source that I really love is just Pinterest in general. Some things that are on Pinterest, like I feel like I'm stealing. I cannot believe how many good things are on Pinterest, like tarot spreads all over Pinterest that are fantastic. There are spells, like herbs and correspondences are really easy to find on there. Recommendations for websites. I really think that Pinterest is one of the best sources for witchcraft. So I actually have an online grimoire board on Pinterest that I will link down below to help get you started on your witchy Pinterest. Okay, that is all for this video. I hope that you found it helpful and that you are now on a journey to become a more knowledgeable witch. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.